What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video on the Texas Rangers report. And in this video, I'm going to be going over 3 position battles in spring training as we head towards the regular season. But if you're brand new to the channel, make sure to subscribe because I'm your #1 source for all things Rangers related on YouTube during spring training and as we head towards the regular season. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. First off, this position is obvious. We have a major competition at the third base position. Third base is way up for grabs right now. We have not had a solid third baseman ever since Adrian Beltre retired. We all know we've had stopgap players for the past 2 years with Asdrubal Cabrera and Todd Frazier. Although right now, the opening spot at third base is up for grabs. We have Brock Holt, who we signed to a minor league deal. Charlie Culberson, who we signed to a minor league deal. We all know we have Rougned Odor, who has been our second baseman for the longest time. He's now being slid over to a utility role, so he could play a little bit third, a little bit of second. We also have Andy Ibanez, who's been a top prospect in the system for a while. I don't know if he's really a third baseman, but he's definitely an option. We also have Josh Young. So we all know that Josh Young is not going to be called up. They're going to keep him in the minors until the All-Star break, so that takes away Josh Young. With Andy Ibanez, I think he's a talented hitter. I really don't know if third base is his position, but if it is, I don't think the Rangers are willing to make a roster spot for him. I think they want to keep him in the minors. So let's just take Andy Ibanez out of the situation. That leaves it down to 3 people: Rougned Odor, Charlie Culberson, and Brock Holt. Even though we've narrowed this down to 3 people, it is still very undecisive. I mean, with Rougned Odor, you have a player who's underperformed almost his entire career, and he's played second base for a reason. That's because he doesn't have the arm strength to play third base, and he doesn't have the athleticism to play shortstop. All right. With Brock Holt, I think he could be a solid third baseman for the Rangers, at least until Josh Young gets called up. However, you would then have to create a 40-man roster spot with him. And honestly, I think Charlie Culberson could be decent as well, but you'd also have to create a 40-man roster spot for him. I really don't know who to pinpoint the third base job to. I definitely think it'll be one of those 3 guys. It's very tough to figure out because there's definitely a bunch of things to consider. You have the money that's tied to Rougned Odor, but you also have the fact that you have 2 versatile guys in Brock Holt and Charlie Culberson, and the fact that whenever Josh Young is called up, those guys can still be valuable bench pieces. So I'm not going to call who's going to be the starter right away, but that is what the third base competition is looking like, with the 3 main people being Rougned Odor, Charlie Culberson, Brock Holt, and then the 2 other guys that don't really have a chance with Josh Young and Andy Ibanez. I'm only saying that because the Rangers are probably going to hold them in the minors for half a season or a whole season. That's not saying that they won't reach the majors ever. It's just the 3 other guys will probably be the best candidates to start on opening day. The other position battle that the Rangers are facing is a lot more interesting, and that is the first base position. You have Nate Lowe, who they acquired with the Tampa Bay Rays, and then you also have Ronald Guzman. So Ronald Guzman has come out on a tear he's been raking in spring training, and then you have Nate Lowe. He hasn't been great, but he hasn't been terrible, okay? So we all thought that whenever the Rangers traded for Nate Lowe, Guzman's time with the Rangers was going to be over. Guzman had other thoughts. He put on a show in Winter League, and now he's putting a show on in spring training. It is very possible that both of these guys could make the major league roster. But who has the best chance of winning the first base job? Right now, I think it's going to Ronald Guzman. This is because he's put on a show. Also, he has no minor league options remaining right now. Nate Lowe still has 1 minor league option remaining right now. So if they had to, the Rangers could move him to the minor leagues. Although both Ronald Guzman and Nate Lowe have a little bit of versatility, it doesn't mean they're great at those other positions that they play, but you could move them around. Ronald Guzman has played 1 game at left field in spring training, and Nate Lowe has played a little bit of third base. both in the majors and the minors. So there could be some situations where you have Guzman playing first base and Nate Lowe playing third base. That is because Guzman is obviously the better defensive player. This is definitely one of the bigger position battles in spring training. Now moving to the third position battle on this list, I think it's going to be for that 6th spot in the rotation. And yes, I said 6th, and that's because the Rangers want to do a 6-man rotation. So I think the people that are vying for those spots are some of their younger prospects. So I think you have Joe Palumbo, Kyle Cody, Taylor Hearn, Wes Benjamin. Those guys are all fighting for spots. You also have Hyun Jung Yang and plenty of other people. I know a lot of high-ranking guys at MLB say that the Rangers don't have a good farm system, but I do think the Rangers have some good pitching depth at the upper minor league level. And the Rangers will honestly be able to make the best decision for the team, because it's not just like, oh, we have to start Wes Benjamin at the 6th spot, or oh, we have to start Colby Allard or Kyle Cody. We definitely have some options, and then we don't have to force anybody either, because we can start some guys in the minors and we can give them a few games at the major league level. But obviously the goal for all these guys like Brock Holt, Nate Lowe, and all the guys that are fighting for that spot in the rotation, their goal is to make the major league roster. That's what they're fighting for. It's not anybody's goal to get sent down to the minors, or especially when you don't have any more options like Charlie Culberson or Brock Holt. If they don't make the major league roster, they are going to become a free agent again, and who knows if or when they're going to get their next major league or minor league contract. Granted, that's if they don't want to play at the Rangers AAA affiliate. So everybody is trying to make the major league roster. Even Josh Young, even though we know he's not going to make the majors, the Rangers have said he's most likely going to start in the minors. It's his goal to make the major league roster. So those are the 3 positions where I think we have the biggest competition right now at the Rangers spring training. So just to recap, we have third base with Rougned Odor, Charlie Culberson, and Brock Holt. And then we have first base with Nate Lowe and Rougned Odor. And then we have the 6th spot in the Rangers rotation with the likes of Kyle Cody, Joe Palumbo, Colby Allard, Hyun Jung Yang, and etc., etc. There's so many players in the Rangers organization that could probably fill out that spot. So thank you all for staying to the very end of this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up down below. And with that being said, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.